Do it.
Rays and angles.
Rays.
And angles.
And angles. And can you read the objective too?
Yes, ma'am. I will identify parts of angles and classify them by measure in degrees.
By measure in degrees. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and just kick it off with what a ray even is. She's right there. Spelled slightly differently. This is a ray. A ray in geometry is a part of a line. This part of a line is going to have one endpoint, which is different from a line segment because a line segment has two. And so while you can get a measure of a line segment, you cannot get a length measure on ray because it has one endpoint and the rest is going to continue on to infinity. When we need to represent a ray, we're going to draw something like that. We have an endpoint, we have some sort of line, and then it ends in an arrow. And rays have a very specific way that they need to be named. Rays must be named by the endpoint and then a point in the direction of the ray. I need 3 points named. Go.
F, W.
Okay. We're going to have several more points happening today. Those are the first three that I heard. If I did not pick your letter, please call it out again on the next one. So here's a ray. Its endpoint is A, and it has F and W on it. What could be a name for this ray? What should the name start with? Which point? It definitely has to start with the A, and you said AF, and then I heard the question at the end of that letter, should I say the W, yes or no? The question is no, you don't need to. We just need 1 point in the direction that the ray is going. So this ray could be named AF. Please note the little symbol over the letters. That symbol is important, remember, because we have to make the difference between line segment, line, or measure of a line segment, and now ray. So if this ray could be named AF, what's another name for this ray? AW. Okay, I also heard FA. Why can it not be named FA? Because it has to start at the end point. Is F the end point of the ray? No. It's one of the points on the ray, but it's not the end point of the ray itself. So I can't name the ray FA. It has to be named AF or AW. Make sense? It's pretty good so far? All right. Let's talk about what happens when Ray has a twin sister. I don't know. Oh, snap. We end up with stuff called opposite rays. Opposite rays are two rays. These rays have a common endpoint. And they are collinear.
Miss,
Yes, sir.
common endpoint?
Yes, common endpoint. Oh, yes. Thank you. Common endpoint. Thank you. And they're collinear, which means if I drew a line, it would cover both rays. Three points, go.
C.
I already used A. Can I have a new?
C.
All right, thank you very much. Don't worry, we have more points going on today. We're not quite done. So if you didn't get your name up there, I'm sure you will have a chance.
R-A-E.
All right, so if I wanted to find the opposite rays, I would need to first find an endpoint that two rays can have in common. Which point do you think that might be? Q, yeah. I could totally pick M, you know, because I have a ray this way, but while I have a ray going this way, I don't currently have a way to name that ray. There's no point out there. So Q is definitely the best one to pick. So ray QM and ray QJ are definitely opposite rays. Now that we know what rays are, and we have a notion of common endpoints and the perhaps collinearity, which then hints that we could have rays that aren't collinear to each other, rather, we can talk now about what an angle is and give you a formal definition rather than, oh, it's a thing that looks like that, miss, right? Our more formal definition for an angle is that it is going to be formed by two non-collinear rays. And these rays are going to have a common endpoint. But notice the difference between these and opposite rays. Opposite rays must be collinear. Angles, we don't care if they're on the same line or not. These rays are called, let's spell this word properly. They're called sides. Please help me with this. I'm in a very bad habit. I don't know when it started and I don't know why, but I'm in a very bad habit of calling the rays of an angle the legs. They're not legs.
The leg?
The legs, like you walk on your legs, like legs. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know. But I'm still in the habit of it years later, and it's not the right word. They're the sides of the angle, not the legs of the angle. So if you hear me refer to it as the legs, please stop me and go, miss, sides, and I'll fix it. Okay. That common endpoint has a special name, and it is called...
Did you put point again?
I did. The endpoint is called... You are on game today, sir. Thank you. It's called the vertex. The common endpoint. Common point. All right, so let's draw our representation. I'm going to use that point because there was already a smudge on my paper. I'm going to draw a ray going off this way somewhere. And I'm going to draw a ray going this way somewhere. And I have something that looks like an angle that most of you are familiar with. All right. Before we get to the name to buy, I need 3 points and a number. Go.
C.
E.
White.
8. B. Oh, wait, did she say number?
Oh, 8.
Oh, she got my L.
I got it. I heard it. I was going quick too. Nice. There are 3 different ways that you can name an angle with this information. Hi.
I just wanted to say hi.
Hi. Come on in. Oh, I owe you those things. Yes. You're welcome. All right. The first way you can name an angle.
Miss, I looked up a drug deal.
Looked like a what?
A drug deal.
No, it wasn't. You know the powdered Gatorade? You pour the powder into water? Yeah, it's basically what that was. Yeah. But I only have a canister of it, so I don't have the individual packets, so I had to put it into baggies. I know it looked awkward, but it wasn't what that was. Okay. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's totally on my mind how that looked. Anyway, you can...
Like that time she said Coke and then everyone just stayed
Almost
quiet.
like-
And she's like, no, soda.
Soda. Okay. You can name an angle by its vertex. And you only have to use its vertex.
So in this case,
It would be angle L. Really, really useful, really powerful. When you only have one angle on your picture that you're staring at, it's the only one it could possibly be. So yes, we could totally name this thing angle L. Notice the little symbol for angle in front of the letter. Because if you just write L, you've told me the point, the name of the vertex. No, we need the name of the angle. So use the angle symbol. You could also name it by a number. 8. Angle 8. Really powerful when you have a whole bunch of angles that you're staring at and you've numbered them all, and then you can just say which number angle you're talking about. Now, if you don't have them numbered and you have a whole bunch of angles, there's a third way. You can name it with a point on a side, then the vertex, then a point on the other side. Bless you. I'll zoom in a little bit because I realize it's starting to get kind of small. A little better? Okay. So pick one side, the side with the C or side with the E?
C.
Side with the C. Okay, so let's name this angle. This angle can be named angle C, L for its vertex, E for its other side. Okay? The vertex always has to be in the middle. It always has to be the second one. You could also name this angle, start at the other side, E, L for its vertex, C for its other side. Okay. The last thing to comment about angles is that angles, when you draw them, cut whatever surface you've drawn them on into 3 distinct locations. An angle cuts it into whatever is on the angle. It cuts it into the interior of the angle, the stuff that's inside the angle. And then it cuts it into stuff that's outside the angle. This idea of can you read the bright green?
Exterior.
You can't read. It says exterior.
I wrote intention.
I'm sorry. Note to self, don't use the bright hyper lime green or the bright hyper blue because those can't be read. Exterior. So we can start talking about interior space of angles and exterior space of angles now. Okay?